Wrong, wrong, wrong. That is typically what you get when you're measuring on a slope like you see right here. As a landscape designer, we run across all types of different landscapes. Even in Florida, we have these grade shifts and grade changes. A lot of us think that, gosh, if we've got our length times width measurements, that's all we really need to create a good estimate or have a good base plan for our new landscape. However, measuring on a slope can be one of the most challenging things, especially if you're not a math genius like me. What I am so thankful to have come across is this little guy right here. He does the math for me. When you're measuring on a slope, you really do need to know what that elevation pitch is. You need to know that for your soil media. You need to know that for your plant selection. You need to know that for gravel or grade shifts, things along those lines. And Moser helps to do all of those things at the one time that you're doing your final measurement. I'm going to take a site measurement of this backyard, and I'm going to have the length times width plus my 3D visual for the elevation pitch. You will not believe, with the naked eye, it's hard to see that we have a 4-foot pitch here, but instead of telling you, let me show you. We're gonna set this Moser device right down, and it's gonna collect the data, and then we're gonna start our way down. Now we're going back to our starting point. So right now we have our 2D outline of what I just walked through, and what I want to find is the elevation pitch on that. So I'm going to go to the 3D option there, and so what I want to find out is this is the bottom of the pitch here, and I want to find out from the top of the pitch to the bottom of the pitch what we're working with. So I'm going to hit the bottom of the pitch, and then there's a little cross section button that pops up, and then I'm going to hit that. And now I'm going to hit just the button at the top of the pitch, and that'll tell me right there that I've got a 4.2 foot pitch. And that tells me one of the most valuable measurements that I'm going to need for my job. Not just the length times width. I have all of that in one stroll through this backyard garden. So I can estimate, when I'm looking at this space, how much soil I'm going to need for amendments and how much might be too much, because you want to keep the pitch that the original engineer built for your framework of your house. So we don't want to change that. We want to keep that in mind when we're doing that. And this becomes super important when you're dealing with hardscape material, whether it's retaining walls or rock or things along those lines. But in my landscape world, it helps me with plant selection, plant options, measurements, and it helps me with soil amendments.